Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing, all of them. Episode 178 is brought to you by Christine Crabtree, Catherine, and Gage, some of our newest Patreon patrons. This week, Nina, Chuy, and I are talking about the Build-A-Bear reveal and who we think the next character will be. From there, we celebrate the 20th anniversary of Animal Crossing. So to begin, hey Chuy, how are you doing today?
Hey Sergio, how are you? I'm great.
Yeah, I'm a little tired, but I'm doing great. Animal Crossing just gives energy, and I'm here for all of it.
That's awesome.
And how are you doing, Nina?
I'm doing great. Emmett, my dog, turns 8 tomorrow, so we're gonna have a good day. I'm excited.
He's like the same age as Georgia.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
He's gonna be M8.
Emmett. Yep.
I love that. Cool. So, I'm glad to hear both of you. Always a pleasure to get on the show. So, I guess the big thing we got to talk about to begin, Build-A-Bear reveal. Am I right?
Oh, man. Egg on our face.
So, if you tuned in last week, we made our predictions about who was going to come to Build-A-Bear, and we went a little crazy. We probably guessed too many characters, as it has been confirmed that there are 2 characters, not 5. I guessed 5. What did you both guess?
I think I said 3.
I feel like I said 5 also.
No, you're right. I said 5 also.
Yeah, we all did. That's what a collection is.
Yeah. Honestly, it's not. We just read 5 backwards, right?
What?
If you flip 5 backwards, it's a 2, right?
Yeah.
So, that's just what happened. We got bad information, faulty information. So, as you all, a lot of you may have seen, Tom Nook and Isabelle were revealed as the first characters. They are currently sold out online. They had their whole little sale thing, which, can I also add, they revealed and sold them all in the same go. Like, they didn't want to give anybody any chance to think about it at all.
Yeah, I don't know. It worked, right?
Yeah.
As if Nook and Isabelle are a surprise. Of all the reveals they're going to give, Nook and Isabelle are not the reveal to start out with like that.
It's true. I had Isabelle and Tom Nook as my picks for 2 of the 5 that I listed. So it felt like, that makes sense. It's probably going to be them. Reason being is it's pretty easy to go with the characters that everybody has access to. Mm-hmm. Special characters, no matter which island you start on, what you name it, no matter where you go,
right,
you're going to have certain characters appear on your island no matter what. And Tom Nook and Isabelle are clearly going to be 2 of those. I almost thought maybe Timmy and Tommy,
mm-hmm.
Since they do kind of ship you off right at the beginning, at the start of the game. But
yeah,
I don't know. 2 characters overall. They did come with their cute little Nook Ink shirts. I love them. I really want the coral one. I have the one that Tom Nook wears, but I'd also like the coral shirt. For me, just in case you all don't know, I have a Nook Ink shirt that I bought from Nintendo. But yeah, the coral one, please give me that. So Isabelle and Tom Nook, they have the options to come with phrases, their little voices, or the theme song. So the theme song, as you all know, it's the New Horizons theme, the one that usually plays over our little intro. And then their phrases I really like this because it is in their voices, which it can be pretty difficult to find those sounds separated from the music and all the other audio, just finding those voice clips alone. So that really intrigued me overall, especially because the special characters do, I think, have unique voices compared to the personality voices that are often associated with a bunch of villagers. So it's nice to see that they're different and kind of separated like that. So, my first question for both of you: what was your reaction to this reveal, Sergio? What did you think when you first saw that it was Tom Nook and Isabel?
Well, yeah, the very first thing I thought is no KK, really? And yeah, it was a little bit disappointed in a bunch of ways. Like I said, no KK, that's the biggest disappointment. And then only two characters, like Nina said, that's really not a collection. But we'll see how things go. And then I don't know, they both of them don't look proper. They don't look, you know, they don't
They've
look
been around the
exactly
block.
correct.
They look pre-played with, right?
Yeah.
Like things can be pre-washed. These are pre-loved.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nina, what did you think of this reveal?
Man, I was disappointed too. Again, a collection is not two animals. I understand we are possibly getting more in the future, which we'll talk about, but I thought it was kind of misleading. I also thought that it was kind of shady that they revealed the characters while people were in line to buy the characters.
Yeah.
Again, if it's just Nook and Isabel, let us know it's just Nook and Isabel. That's not a surprise to anyone. And then, like, while people were in line trying to get the animals, people thought that maybe once you got through the line, it opened up to more.
Oh.
And Twitter went crazy, and people who were in line or ready to buy were like, no, it's really just Tom Nook and Isabel. And I didn't believe it for the longest time. I was like, no, they're just trying to get people to leave the line by telling you that. So I'm staying in line just in case. But no, it was just, I mean, none of that should have happened, I think. So I've got kind of a bitter taste in my mouth with how everything was handled.
Yeah, all of us expected Tom Nook and Isabel to make an appearance in this at some point. If not today, then at some point, So it feels like, oh, duh, obviously they're going to go with those. I don't know why we even guessed at this point, But on top of that, it is kind of funny that there was a little bit more hope for seeing more once we finally made it through that waiting line, There was really only 4 variations. You could get each of them with a theme song or with their respective phrases. I think in the actual Build-A-Bear, like when you build them, they let you choose maybe more than one voice box, and maybe you could have gotten like both the theme song and the phrases in like one other hand.
Right, right.
Or
I'm
neither.
assuming.
Neither was not an option.
Oh,
Yeah.
It made you pay more for it, which was also kind of upsetting.
Yeah, that's true. I think you would have gone with no voice, right, Nina?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that about our purchasing of these things. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like they didn't really need to wait and do the reveal the way they did. I think they could have just told us and people wouldn't have been kind of struggling through that line. I know I tweeted out, jokingly, I hope nobody took me seriously, but I tweeted out that I heard if you all leave the line, I can skip to the front and buy them really quickly. Let's try it out, So, of course, I'm joking. I don't want anybody to leave the line. But it was like, we all got in there and they were like, you're going to be waiting for more than an hour.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mine
man.
said more than an hour wait for
Sheesh.
many hours.
Yeah, mine too. It was, I was struggling for sure. But yeah, I guess for me, I thought it was I guess I'm fine in the sense of like, Tom Nook and Isabel make sense. I don't think it needed to be any... I mean, I would have liked it to be bigger, but I don't think it needed to be any bigger. I think they definitely did what they wanted to with this first set. Like, it sold out. That's
Yeah.
what they wanted,
Yeah.
basically. As far as not knowing the characters, I wish they told us, but, it is how they did it. So I'm hoping that they do kind of grow this collection over time. And it does sound like they have some plans for that thus far. So we'll just have to see how that goes for now, you know. So I guess in terms of this collection, did you both purchase any of them, Sergio?
No, I didn't. I would have for KK. I was busy that day at work, but if KK had come out, I mean, I would have had to snoop around eBay or anywhere I could. I need KK, but no. I'll pass for now on these two.
You'd be dropping the bells on KK.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nina, did you buy one?
I did end up getting Tom Nook with the New Horizons theme song in it.
Oh.
And I don't know, it was just excruciating. I was really lucky to have had a kind of a long lunch break in the middle of my day, which is not always the case. So I was able to put in the time and effort that was needed to get this, but not everybody's able to do that. So it was tricky. Though I did like their little line system. I like that it was kind of random. Once the doors opened, you were placed randomly in the line. So it didn't matter if you had been waiting all morning or if you had just been able to log in. I know that upset some people, but I kind of find that fair because not everybody's free to do that. So I did like their line system. That's one thing that I thought was kind of positive.
Yeah, that is pretty nice just to make it a little bit less of it's gone in 3 seconds like the Sanrio cards, and instead it's just like, let's let people in slowly,
Yeah, all these Animal Crossing releases lately have just been torturous. I don't like it. This game is supposed to be relaxing, and I am not relaxed.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's kind of like this, like across the board with a lot of different products. I kind of did the same line system at the PlayStation store, trying to do like the PS5 thing.
Oh my gosh.
Same thing. Wait was longer than an hour. By the time it was shrinking down, it was because they announced that it was sold out. So everybody just left the line. And kind of like everything is seeing this, like a lot of physical goods are just like, they're not getting produced like they were before COVID, we're starting to feel that slowdown in production for sure.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be like this for a while. Pokemon cards are sold out. I've been looking for Digimon cards and they're gone. So I don't know. It's hard to find a lot of like collector's items, kind of hobby items, all that sort of thing. And I don't know when exactly that's going to change at all.
Well, which ones did you end up getting?
I got both Isabelle and Tom Nook.
Nice.
I think they're cute. I like the kind of well-loved frumpy look to them. So I was into it. I thought they look soft and cuddly, and I wanted them. So I got both of them with their voices because, like I said, it's kind of hard to find their voices kind of separated out from other game sounds and everything. So I really liked having those sound bites. And I told Jackie, and she was like, "Oh, I would have gotten the song." And I was like, "I could play the song on guitar. I'll just do that."
Yeah, I liked how sleepy Tom Nook looks. That's my life and my vibe. So I had to get my sleepy Tom Nook. He's a little chunky. Yeah. I'm a little chunky at work. So.
It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah. How is your confirmation and stuff gone through so far? Because I've been having trouble with that.
Pretty quickly they took my payment. I did kind of like the PayPal pay. Yeah. So they took my money right away, but it was I think I barely got like shipping confirmation yesterday for me. So it's on its way. By that I mean it told me the label got made basically, but it hasn't like actually shipped quite yet. So I'm waiting for it. I've heard people in Europe have been getting them very fast, at least like the UK and everything. They're all like, they're on it right there.
That's so interesting. I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, it took me, I think, about 3 days for my final confirmation, like that my payment had gone through, which really got me nervous. I was like, did they promise me one without there actually being one available? So that kind of gave me a little bit of a heart attack. But then also, same thing, FedEx last Wednesday, or Build-A-Bear last Wednesday, said that they had made the shipping confirmation, and still FedEx is saying they haven't gotten, anything from the warehouse. So I think it's going to be a while till we see these guys.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know what that is. Just logistically, we're pretty huge. So I'm imagining they're sending these all over the place at this point. And if we didn't pay for that like really quick shipping, which was already so much on top of what the price already was, I can expect that our wait is going to be a little bit longer for now.
Yep.
Yeah. So my next question for both of you, we have gotten confirmation that another character will be joining this roster at Build-A-Bear this summer. So I guess I also should mention, if you missed getting Tom Nook or Isabel through this whole online experience, they will be restocking these in the summer. They're going to be in the stores. I imagine you'll probably still be able to order online and everything. I'm sure, by now to summer, there's quite a few months of production that they can take. So I'm sure they will be in better stock at that point. But on top of that, there is going to be one new character, at least one. The way they've phrased this, it makes me think it's going to be just the one character. We don't quite know who it will be yet, but I did want to ask you both, who do you think the next character will be? And this time we're sticking to one. 5 was too many. Sergio, what's your guess?
Oh, you know it. KK Slider, it has to be him. I would have put him in the first two. I don't know who I would take. That's tough. I don't want to answer that. But definitely, if there's a third place, it has to be KK. It has to be next.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with that. Like, I think KK Slider is probably going to be the one. And part of it is just because, he's already naked, he needs some clothing. They want to sell the Build-A-Bear clothes, and my only hope is that I need them to make the tree sweater. Like if they make tree sweater, I'm buying 3 of them. Tom Nook, Isabel, and KK Slider. They're all going to be wearing it. They're going to be in all my videos from here on out.
Oh.
And they'll make an appearance every show.
You got to put a little shelf behind you.
Yeah, exactly. So, who do you think, Nina?
I'm thinking KK too, especially like you said, because he doesn't need a line of outfits. And that's another thing that surprised me. I was thinking for sure when you got through that waiting line and everything opened up to buy, that there'd not only be Tom and Isabel, but there'd be outfits to choose from. Because that's what Build-A-Bear does. There was nothing, and that works for KK. He's above clothing.
Yeah. They could dress him with the strategically placed guitar still.
They could. Or in Amiibo Festival, sometimes he wears that little hat, which is adorable. It's like a newsboy hat.
Yeah, I scanned him into New Leaf a few days ago to get some footage for a friend. And in the little camper that he comes in, he's wearing like a striped shirt as well.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really cute look on him. He's got some fun, stylish clothing that he doesn't always wear. Yeah. Awesome. So, we're all in agreement. KK is probably the next one. He makes so much sense. It just feels like that's going to be the new character. So now that we, have all agreed who we think it's going to be, who do we hope it's going to be? Sergio, I think your answer is easy here.
Yeah, I do hope it's KK for sure. I've hoped that from the very beginning. But okay, let's say it's not KK. I'm hoping for Flick. And the other candidate would have been CJ, but I think Flick, I don't know, has more he's cute, but he's cool looking too. He's like a good mix of both. So I feel like Flick would be maybe more likely to be a plush.
Yeah, and I think that's a really fun choice because I said in our predictions last week, I feel like since it's the New Horizons update or collection,
Mhm.
I think, representing the new characters from New Horizons would be a really good option,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Nina, who are you thinking? Or who would you like to be the next character?
I still want to see random villagers get some love.
Mm-hmm.
Like as much fun as it is to have a Nook and an Isabel, I really want a Gonzo and a Gaston. Neither of them are gonna happen, which I know. But it'd just be so cool. There's so many cool characters that could get made, and I don't know. I just feel like Nintendo and Build-A-Bear are missing out on how many amazing characters there are.
Yeah, there's so many to pick from. And I feel the same way in this sense where I'm like, I really want a Pearl plush. She's the cat who I really like, and she's adorable. And I don't know if she has like any merch or anything. I mean, there's so many characters in Animal Crossing that probably don't have any merch. So I feel like at this point, there's so many good options for villagers. A lot of people would like a lot of different ones.
Yeah.
And Raymond. They all want Raymond.
Yeah.
Like, print money,
Yeah.
Build-A-Bear. Go for it. Distract them with Raymond so we can get our dibs on all the leftovers.
Yeah, I'll take all the other ones.
Yep. So my next question for both of you, we only really know that there's going to be one new character. We don't know if there's going to be more than that, but do you think they will go beyond these three? Nina, what do you think here?
I think so. Looking back at their past collections and kind of talking with some people on Twitter, it seems like this rollout is similar to how they've rolled out the Pokemon collections, and that it's just a few villagers, a few Pokemon at a time, like over years, honestly. So I think we could see some. Also,
Yeah, and
yes, go on.
well, I was thinking about the Pokemon collection because I do have a Pikachu from Build-A-Bear, and I want to say it happened like around the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, and right now we're on the 25th. So it seems like they've been going strong for about 5 years now with them. So if Animal Crossing does well, I imagine that's a lot of incentive to keep it going,
Yeah.
So thus far, I'm glad it sold out because to me, it sounds like it's doing well and they're just going to keep it going, Yeah. Sergio, what do you think? Do you think they're going to add more beyond these three?
Yeah, definitely. You both made some good points as to why, and I don't know. I think like maybe at least two per year would be a good amount. You always get, more word of mouth, more buzz going around, especially in social media. And not only do you sell and promote the new character, but people are interested in the old one too. Maybe they couldn't get it, or maybe they didn't know about it. So yeah, I mean, the more they add, the better, the merrier.
Yeah, and I think honestly 2 to 3 per year is pretty good, especially for people like me who are gonna inevitably want to buy all of them. Come on, if it's like 5 every month or so,
No, that's
you're
too
looking
much.
at like $250 a month on just some Animal Crossing plush. So yeah, while at first I was disappointed that it was only 2. I just looked at the price and I was like, you know what? This is good for me. This is really good for me. So yeah, I think you're spot on, Sergio, with that kind of guess too. Yeah, and I guess I didn't write any notes here, but yeah, I think they're gonna go beyond the 3. Especially once this does well and a lot of people keep buying it. It just feels like, keep it going. Keep the success.
Yeah.
Make us happy and make your wallets happy, Build-A-Bear. We'll help you out. I did want to point out one note here. In our Haken's Islander Corner segment, Kakulu didn't quite answer the question per se, but they did make a good point. They said, to be honest, I'm not too interested in the Build-A-Bear promotion. Their plushies are so expensive and not that high quality. I'd much rather find someone on Etsy or something who puts effort into the plush. So on this note, like after seeing which characters they went with and having a pretty good guess about where they're going to go as far as characters in the future, I think I might still be looking into those custom plushes that I've seen where people will commission a specific character to be made. So
Right.
I'll probably still want to do that with Pearl or Grizzly or, just one of my favorites.
Yeah. I mean,
And
and they're
I
making
think
you
it's
buy.
nice.
Oh, sorry. But they're making you buy, like I said before, the sound chips. So it feels like they're just gouging the prices to do it, and they're not even giving us the fun accessories, which is the point of Build-A-Bear. So what's the difference in buying it from someone from like Etsy who probably needs the money more?
Yeah. Yeah, and I will say, like, the online experience of getting Build-A-Bear, like, there's none of the kind of like magic that they've built up around
Right.
their whole company, Like, kids get to go in there and they're bringing this animal to life for themselves. It's their friend, It
Yeah.
becomes a real member of the family at that point. So you just don't get that experience with buying it online. So for anybody who did like opt to wait to buy them in the summer, like in the shop and everything, it's gonna be pretty cool. Cause like right now, I don't know. I just feel like I'm gonna get sent some plushie that's stuffed by somebody else's standard,
Yeah.
That's true.
and so there wasn't as much customization involved. The options were, do you want this thing not stuffed or stuffed?
Yeah. You know
Yeah.
what? That just reminds me. Recently I bought like a little baby Yoda keychain off of shopdisney.com, and usually when I buy like plushes or little keychains with faces or whatever, I take the time to find the one I think looks the cutest, because inevitably they're all going to be a little bit different, or maybe like something's going to be a little wonky about, the manufacturing process or whatever. And that's part of the problem with buying these things online, because my little baby Yoda has an eye that's way further out than it should be, which I've learned to love him, whatever. He's got a wonky eye. But like, what if I'm getting a Nook that's even sleepier than he should be? Not being able to go in and buy it at the store is kind of a risk when you're buying things like plushes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would do that with Amiibo too. Like I would go to the
Yeah.
shop and I'd just look at all of them and be like, all right, which one is the best looking
Yeah,
one?
which one has the
Who's coming home
paint?
with me?
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I'm glad I'm not the only one who does that, but
No, it's a
it's
thing for
tricky.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, recently, I don't know if you both remember, Nintendo had the 35th anniversary of Mario and they made the whole pin set and everything. The first set, a lot of defects got sent out too, where like the Marios weren't fully painted in some parts, and so like a lot of people like would show pictures of them and be like, "Oh yeah, mine doesn't have paint here while others do." And so
Yeah.
like some people have some like imperfections in their pins and everything. And I was like waiting for mine just to see like, all right, do mine have those? Are they fine? Mine turned out fine,
Oh, nice.
luckily. I was hoping they would just be nice. But yeah, like I get it, Nina. Like I'm right there with you. I just want to look at all of the different ones and find the best one. I do it with like
Yeah.
everything without
Yeah.
even trying. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the Build-A-Bear stuff. I'm sure we'll check in on it again at some point in the future. Probably not till summer, which is, I'm assuming when they reveal the next character, it will be the day
Right.
of when it goes on sale, just based
so.
on how this first one went. So expect that whenever that happens. For now, let's go ahead and move into a pretty big thing here. Animal Crossing is turning 20. 20
man.
years of Animal Crossing on April 14th, 2001. This is an incredible an incredible amount of time for a game. It's been something I guess I'd call life changing. The experience with Animal Crossing. I think a lot of me changed as soon as I got my hands on the game for the first time, and it's been great. I've had a lot of fun with it. So I'm gonna give just some little details about it. The first game, Dobutsu no Mori, it did come out on the N64 in Japan. Once again, that was April 14th, 2001, and it was originally planned for the Nintendo 64 disk drive, which was a commercial failure, and, eventually they moved off of that project and decided to port the game over to the GameCube, which is where we first saw it in 2002, actually. That's when it first got here to the States. This game has traveled through time and places. I think the final version of the game, or at least the final release, not the final version, the final release wasn't till, I think, 2006. Oh. And that was in China, actually, on the IQ player. So this was... They actually only got the original version that was on N64. This game has been revised many times since then. Yeah. The version that came to the States was already updated as well. This one actually added holidays and stuff. Japan really liked all of those additions and changed the game once more for the ultimate version, Animal Crossing E+, which... is just, that's the director's cut version of the game. It's really the best one. But after that, it, of course, had a bunch of new games, spin-offs, all that sort of thing. So let me get into the questions here with all of you. What are some things you liked about the very first game? And Nina, I want to start with you because I know you have a little bit less experience with this one than both Sergio and I.
Yeah, I'll give a little background in case anyone is new, but unfortunately I haven't been able to play much of the first one because the acre system camera movement gives me migraines for some reason, which is a huge shame because I love watching this game. I love all the little hidden secrets in it, like how you can bang on Nook's cranny in the middle of the night to wake up Nook, and he shows up in his nightie and is real upset at everything. So I love how it's got all these like little hidden features in it that really no other game in the franchise has. So I always watch clips of it when I can. But, I am sad that I haven't been able to play this amazing start of the franchise.
Yeah, and, you're totally right. Like, there are just so many little secrets in this game that I still see new ones all the time. Yeah. And, I don't even remember how much time I've spent on this game at this point, but there's still a bunch of things to discover, a lot of really fun, cute things going on. So I guess, Sergio, what is stuff you like from this first game?
Oh man! Well, what the few items that come to mind right away? Definitely the music. It was very relaxing. It seemed to fit the game the most. I mean, I love the music in all Animal Crossing games, but the first one had something about it that it was more on the slow side, but it still fit very well. I really like the music on the original game. Also, the acre system. It was very unique. I mean, it's the only game that has it to date, so it was cool to have it. It was very unique, and I kind of miss it. I wish it was at least an option in the games nowadays. I also really remember the stronger personalities, especially from the cranky villagers. It was nice to have more of a variety, like more on the extreme sides of the personalities. It was cool, and back then, when it was for a lot of people, it was our first Animal Crossing, so it was a lot of discovery. A lot of us didn't really know what we were in for, so it was finding out throughout the process as we were playing the game, how did things work, how would things be changing every day, and the fact that it was more of a game that we would be coming back for every day. We didn't know how many minutes or hours each day, but it was a lot of discovery, and I think a lot of us have discovered that we love that franchise because of this game.
Yeah. Yeah, you're totally right. And, just the time that it came out too, I feel really lent itself to that discovery where
Mm.
there wasn't too much on the internet to look up about it and everything.
Oh,
So
true, true.
this is even like before the game had any sort of internet connection at all. It wasn't till Wild World, which, pretty quickly, the second game in the series already has internet, so
Yeah.
not bad. But yeah, like just there was so much that we just kind of did on our own, and if you were kind of lucky enough to find a friend at school or something or work or wherever you were at that point who was also playing it, like that was kind of the fun of it. Like you could exchange little secrets and discoveries with each other and have that to share.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you, Sergio, the music too. Like I can never hear a single song from the first Animal Crossing and not get nostalgic. Like it instantly takes me back to that experience, and I love it. I just love the quirkiness of the music, and it's something I'll always point out too compared to other games, because this is like, as the pioneer for Animal Crossing, it's really got a bunch of quirks that I don't think will exist in any other Animal Crossing going forward.
Yeah.
They seem to have like nailed down that kind of relaxation aspect to the game, So it doesn't really seem like they're ever going to go to something quite as quirky as the soundtrack from the first one. Which in some cases is sad to me, but I don't know. In others, I'm like, yeah, I guess I don't mind hearing new soundtracks every time and just seeing what they come up with,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But outside of that, like, I've really enjoyed the quirkiness of this first title. There's like cheat codes. This is a time when we had cheat codes. I don't know if about you all, but those have kind of disappeared from games
Yeah.
recently. Um, but they also had just like really weird things going on in the game all the time, and everybody like acknowledged it, but also lived with it. So I don't know how much that makes sense, but like everybody kind of knows that it's weird that you live in Animal Crossing. So it's just fun. Um, and then I want to point out one more thing that was kind of strange and quirky. You could plug your Game Boy Advance into the console, and then Cap'n would appear to take you on a boat to another island. This is the first island in Animal Crossing. New Horizons, you didn't do it first. But on this island, you actually would get like one extra special villager, and all of the villagers associated with these islands were unique to ones you could find on the town itself. So there were villagers that you would never see because you only got one from this island, but there's a whole list of them, and that was really neat. And there was a little mini game that you could play on your Game Boy Advance and get some bells and different little presents from the game. Really cool. Really, really cool. And when you sometimes, oh, there's so much to say about this island. Sometimes when Cap'n would row you over there, or I guess he had a little motorboat, I think, at that point. But he would take you over there, and sometimes you'd see a giant whale shadow in the water. And that was very, very nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. So really strange game. I don't think we'll ever get quite as quirky as this one was, but who knows? I mean, they've got a lot of time between now and the next games to maybe do it. We'll see. So my next question for both of you, let's kind of look at this 20 years as a whole. What are your favorite moments for the series in the past 20 years? Sergio, do you want to start?
Sure. And to me, the favorite moment almost always happens when the game is coming out, because there's a lot of anticipation for them, and luckily for me, I've been able to share my love with each game, with at least with one friend, for the first, let's say, the first three games up to City Folk. With my close friend Danny, him and I were really into the game. So it's very nice to have a game like this where we can start playing from day one, and we can start pretty much sharing everything. There's other games that are more story focused or progress focused that you kind of have to be on the same level or at the same pace so you can talk to each other without spoiling the game. But with Animal Crossing, you just you know what you're in for, what you're into, so it's a lot easier to talk about things. But then with New Leaf, in especially with New Horizons, like having a big community of a lot of people all around the world, and definitely the experience of living the anticipation of New Horizons. I mean, a lot of us shared the journey that it was just to have the game be like announced and shown for the first time, and then the very, very long wait to actually be able to play it. But it's all part of the journey, and it's all part of the game in a way. It's part of the experience. So being able to share that and then share the first year of the game with everyone in our community, I think that's my favorite part. Just being able to find like-minded people that love Animal Crossing as much as we do, or even more, and just enjoying all of that with them.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a really good point. Like just having that experience of community around the game
Mhm.
is it does a lot to make that whole time pretty special, I'd say. I would say that like everybody kind of looking back at the beginnings of this pandemic and just going into lockdown and having Animal Crossing, like what a great way to just like take it easy for a bit, you
Yeah, yeah.
know? Yeah. So Nina, I guess what were your favorite moments over these 20 years?
Mine actually is the countdown to New Leaf. That was so much fun for me. I think that was really what kicked my Animal Crossing obsession into overdrive. And I can remember just like so many people being excited on Tumblr. And that's, I found the 100-day countdown that little baby Chuy came up with. And then watching Lin and Co. translate the videos that they made because Japan got the game first and kind of getting
Oh,
sneak peeks at what was coming. Oh my gosh, it just is so nostalgic for me. Um, that's my most favorite memories. As much fun as New Horizon was too, especially being a part of the Haken Discord and counting down together with everyone. Something about the New Leaf release just made my nostalgia kick in.
Yeah. Yeah, you're totally right. Like there was such a great energy around New Leaf and everything. And I know people look at it very fondly these days, especially as they compare things with New Horizons and everything. But yeah, just like New Leaf for me was the first game that I felt like connected to the online community,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can definitely relate to New Leaf being a big part of just my discovery for really like how ingrained Animal Crossing was in my
yeah.
life for sure.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I'd have to say I really like seeing the sales numbers blow through the skies with New Horizons. Like every single Animal Crossing game, or you'd hear things like, "Oh, Animal Crossing's pretty niche and everything." I'm like, "You guys, this game sells really well. Like, stop, stop putting it that way." A lot of people like Animal Crossing, and just seeing that, like, completely those numbers were overthrown by New Horizons. New Horizons, I think, at this point has sold more than every other Animal Crossing game together, probably. We're gonna get the full numbers pretty soon. I've been anxiously waiting for
Ooh.
them. They come out in April, I believe, like very early April. So you'll hear it here when we finally talk about those, the final year numbers for for New
Wow,
Horizons.
crazy.
But to me, that was exciting. I was really excited to see like so many other people just enjoying a game that I've really liked and wanted to share with others. And
Mhm.
so I feel like that's not going to be a problem going forward. Like we're always going to be able to find
Yes.
a bunch of people who really like Animal Crossing. So hopefully that translates into more merch and fun things for us to get
Yes.
as the years go by. But yeah, I guess speaking kind of as the years go by, the other thing I really enjoyed about the series was pretty much like every E3
Oh
that had
yeah.
Animal Crossing. Just like the excitement around those times to see things, it's really special. So specifically, like New Leaf it wasn't really shown very properly at E3. It
Right.
got like trailers here and there, and that was nice because the trailers always blew my mind. I was just like, look at this animal. We're tall now. We can wear pants. What is this? Really great stuff. Really awesome. It's like, it's like sitting in New Horizons.
It
It's so
is. It blew our minds.
great. Yeah. So, I mean, after that though, like, I know 2015 is not a happy memory for many, like just getting that Amiibo Festival announcement, some Happy Home Designer stuff. It wasn't exactly what fans were looking forward to, but like one thing that I really liked about that is the Happy Home Designer showcase was really awesome. It just like seeing the people at Nintendo showing that game and kind of like sharing that with other people, I was like, wow, this is like they really care about this game. They really like it, and I feel like yes, this is how I want Nintendo to be about the game. So just like seeing the passion in 2015 for these spin-off titles that nobody cared for too much, I was fine with it. Just because I want to see that passion. And then the E that E3 also had really cool interviews with Aya Kyogoku, which is really nice. Anytime there's something to read from Aya Kyogoku, I want to read it because she is incredible. I mean, first female director at Nintendo. That's a huge step, and she was a very strong proponent for the game to have an equal amount of women working on it as men. So it's really cool to see that kind of change through the company, and she definitely led that charge for sure. And then from there, the New Horizons stuff at the next E3's incredible. Another mind-blowing experience where I was just like, this is Animal Crossing? This is what it is? Okay, I can get into that. So yeah, E3, Animal Crossing time. I'm here for it.
Nice.
Yeah. So I guess my next question for both of you, do you think Nintendo will do anything to celebrate this anniversary? I mean, maybe by the time this episode comes out, we'll have seen something, but I want to get your thoughts before that actually happens. Sergio, what do you think?
I hope so. At least a little something would be nice. New Horizons is still doing really well. And, we got the Sanrio cards, we got the Build-A-Bear plushies. So maybe it would be nice for them to recognize, hey, this started a while ago, 20 years ago, with population growing. And maybe they could do like a retrospective video of how the series has evolved to what it is today. And I mean, if they want some controversy, they could kind of hint at a re-release of the first week game, even if they're not planning it. Maybe if they just mention it or something,
Oh my gosh.
just to get people
That's my
excited.
dream. I would love that. I would honestly love it. That's my dream at the moment. We'll get into that a little bit later. But Nina, what do you think? Do you think they'll do anything to celebrate?
They've really been into anniversaries lately, so I'd like to at least see it acknowledged on Twitter. Like that could be the bare minimum of what they give us. But some great little celebratory in-game items would be fun too.
Oh yes.
But we got like a cake, right? For the 1 year anniversary of New Horizons. So I'm not sure if we're gonna get much of anything. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I guess it wasn't a very big item. And I do want to note, like, the last big anniversary was, of course, the 15-year anniversary. You've probably seen this image floating around on Twitter or so, but they basically just posted an image that said 15 years of Animal Crossing, woohoo, that kind of thing. So that was the acknowledgement we got. And that was kind of a rough one considering like 5 years ago, 2016, people were desperate.
Oh,
They
yeah.
wanted Animal Crossing on the Wii U at that point. And no, it wasn't going to happen at all.
look, this year we're gonna get the same image, and they're just gonna cross out the 15 and put a 20 on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, Well, here's the thing. They can't do that same art this time around because it has a lot of special characters in it
Oh.
who are not in this game at the moment.
Oh man.
But I mean, it is, if it is about the 20-year anniversary, I guess it is nice to do a callback for it. But I know as
Right.
soon as they call back to any of those special characters, people are just going to be like, yeah, so where are they?
Yeah.
Man, they've got to
Yeah.
choose. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Exactly. The fans are going to be livid. Yeah, so I guess for me, I guess sort of. Maybe they'll do another cute image, but I'm hoping they acknowledge it at least. I know right now the big game that people are kind of wondering about that hasn't been acknowledged right now is Zelda. Zelda is also having its 35th anniversary. It just passed, I think last month or maybe the month before. It was very recent, but they've said nothing about it outside of like Skyward Sword is coming and we're going to tell you more about Breath of the Wild too, but now is not the time. So I think that's another one people are desperate for. So just that's the other thing they're going to get some I guess backlash from, just the fact that people are out there waiting for something for Zelda, and then they're going to see some acknowledgement of this anniversary and be like, yo, come on guys, what's going on here? And honestly, the issue is that too many Nintendo games came out in the same time frame where they hit like these big 5 or 10-year anniversaries. Donkey Kong, I think, was its 40th this year as well.
Wow.
Metroid
wow.
is somewhere around there, like 30th, or I don't even know. It's wild. They played us wrong. Yeah.
Man.
So I guess with this in mind, if you were Nintendo, what would you do to celebrate the anniversary, Sergio?
Oh man. Well, I would make a video about highlighting the differences between population growing in New Horizons, like saying, oh, this is how it was back then, this is how it is now, but still sort of like portraying the better sides of population growing, because the big announcement that I would do is that there would be a version of the original game, Population Growing, for the Switch. It would be digital only, and it would be free, but it would only work for the rest of 2021.
Oh
In
my
typical
God.
Nintendo
Oh.
fashion, it would stop working at the end of the year.
You
Well,
know what though? They should keep it for the year if that's the case, right?
I'm thinking
Just be-
at least for New Year's, and then you have the party, and then it ends right there.
Yeah, well, I'm saying like they should do a whole year for that, just because like you got to play it for a whole year every single
True.
day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That just made me had a thought. This is a big thought. So, Animal Crossing, this is another little fact I didn't give you all, but we're getting close to the last year possible to play Animal Crossing. I think it's 2029. The calendar does not go beyond 2029. I think that or 2030. I forget which one exactly, but once it's not playable anymore, like they got to make it return at that point. Like just have it come back full version on the latest and greatest console, the Switch 3 by then. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? I would love to see that game return though.
Yes.
Yeah. Nina, what are you thinking? What would you do if you were Nintendo?
Look, I'm gonna keep us grounded. You know what? Just bring back the green and blue furniture sets. They're super basic. You could kind of make them look a little pixely or a little shabby so that it's like they're straight from Population Growing. I think that'd be kind of cute. They're so basic. They wouldn't be too hard to render, hopefully. We could bring back the green and blue furniture from the grave in celebration.
I don't think that's a bad idea, to be honest with you. Like, there are so many furniture sets that people would love to come back from those previous games. They're pretty classic and everything. For me, I was pretty happy to see like a completely redesigned furniture idea for this game, but I'm getting to that point where I'm like, yeah, bring them back. That's fine. So I'm with you. Like, I wouldn't mind them doing just the green and blue to start, but like if they were just all of a sudden releasing a new set on a monthly basis, that would be awesome.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna dream big here. Let's. Are you sitting? Because now I'm about to take you on this plane ride through space.
Yes.
Okay. I would release an Animal Crossing collection on Switch. I would want Population Growing, Wild World, and City Folk. Unfortunately, New Leaf isn't going to make this collection. Maybe next time, New Leaf, you go play on it on 3DS. It's still great. It's still there.
Yeah.
But this will have those first games. I think mostly because all of these games have been out for a very long time, to the effect that like you can't play any of them online anymore.
Right.
There's no way to play City Folk online anymore. There's no way to play Wild World. So you basically have to play locally with your DS. If you find another friend with Wild World, then you can visit each other. Kind of hard during a pandemic. Probably not going to happen for a while, but yeah, like I think just being able to revisit these games, have them have some sort of online collection. Population Growing never even had online, so who knows? That would probably just be base game as it is.
Yeah.
But my alternative to that, what I would also like to see the Animal Crossing E Plus game properly translated and high definition. That'd be wonderful, because it is the greatest version of that original game that only came out in Japan. Like, there's no way for us to experience that game in any other language. So, like, I basically want to learn Japanese just to play that game. That would be worth it in my eyes.
Okay, I got a new idea now. You sparked a new idea for me.
Yes, take us to the sky.
I'm going to take us to the waters, because we have our little dock. And what if our little dock took us to a little E Plus island where you could have your own little shack like you did in that version?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah.
I think that'd be
I
cute.
love it. Yeah, it'd be adorable.
We get our own little tropical islander over there.
Yeah, I mean, we're all wondering, what else is that dock going to do? Are we going to get anything extra out of this? Are we going to be able to take plane rides with our friends? Who knows?
Man.
There's so many possibilities with New Horizons. I think people have reached that point where they want to see those possibilities happen, you know?
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
And Cap'n doesn't even have to drive the boat. He was too inappropriate, so let Leilani now knows how to drive a boat. She's no longer, creating her own little black market of gifts on the island. She drives the boat, and there you go. We got rid of Cap'n.
Yeah, there you go. And that fits the whole theme of the younger characters taking over the older characters,
That's true. It's coming.
So,
just you wait.
It's gotta happen. I believe it.
Nice.
So I guess my last question for both of you here: where do you think Animal Crossing will be in another 20 years? That is a long time from now. But Nina, what do you think?
In another 20 years, we need, immersive virtual reality Animal Crossing. We got to be able to enter into the villagers' homes. Oh, excuse me, and look around, and diving under the creatures for the water would be amazing. Wherever it ends up, it's got to keep to its foundation with that real-time clock, with quirky villagers, holidays, and it's just got to be relaxing, I think if we stay with those like basic pillars, we'll be good no matter what.
Yeah, I think that makes sense too. Just have like the staples that have always existed and just grow it,
Yeah.
Also, virtual reality is my dream. Sergio, what do you think?
I think in 20 years we're gonna have at least, I want to say, four more mainline titles.
Wow.
Hopefully, also some spin-offs. I think at least four now that Nintendo sees how crazy New Horizons did. So hopefully they're gonna be chugging them a lot quicker than before. So not only that, but I think it's gonna be a lot more people are gonna be familiar with Animal Crossing in general. I mean, that's already happening now thanks to New Horizons. So a lot of more people are gonna know about it. A lot more people are gonna be playing and enjoying it. So I think that's gonna lead, like Chuy said, to more collaborations. Animal Crossing in other media, other franchises, maybe different collaborations with other games or even other, like some of the other developers or some of the other system makers. Who knows? Animal Crossing could take off like it already is, and I also kind of want to see. Yeah, I agree that it should stay true to the form, to what we love about Animal Crossing. But I think a lot of people, myself included, we kind of see that going a little bit on the MMORPG part of it, or at least having like
Mm.
online connected towns that you can always go to and that are always buzzing with a lot of activity. That'd be pretty cool. I want to see something like that in 20 years.
Yeah, your train of thought went the same direction mine did for sure. Where it's hard to think of where Animal Crossing will be in 20 years. I feel like we've already seen so much change from the first game to now.
Yeah.
The basic, I guess, structure to it feels to have remained, and a lot of it is still very community oriented and based. So I feel like while that stuff is going to be there, I think they're going to just expand on that and make it more of a community style game and everything. So I think from 20 years from now, we're going to be playing an online Animal Crossing game for
Ooh.
sure, Sergio. I think we're going to be able to load up in, I guess, a town, an island, a city. I don't know what it's going to be
Oh
Wow.
then,
man.
but we're going to be able to start one, all of us together, and log in online anytime. We could just drop in. Maybe somebody else is already playing, you could
Yeah.
just meet up with your friends. It's gonna basically replace real life. That's the goal.
Oh, I'm down for that.
Me too. I'm ready.
Yep. And there's got to be the VR mode too. So
Yes.
you'll
Yeah.
be there in the action. Yep. That's my dreams for it. 20 years from now, hopefully we get there. I think, all of you want that as well, so we'll just keep asking Nintendo to make it happen.
Hmm.
All right, everybody. Well, we've talked plenty to celebrate this 1 year anniversary. Let's go ahead and hop into our Haken's Islander Corner. For those of you who don't know, every single week we ask our patrons on Patreon a question and read their answers out loud here on the show. This week's question is, who do you want the next Build-A-Bear Animal Crossing character to be? So, we made our guesses that it might be KK Slider, and I kind of mentioned it to them that it could be KK Slider, but, regardless of that, I wanted to know who they want it to be. So we'll go Sergio, then Nina, then me.
Okay.
Sounds good. So the first answer is from Kate, and they said, I would like to see Blathers next. He's one of the first on our islands, and I think it would be great to have him next. But I know his shape is an issue for clothes and his shape, so as much and such, so I'm sure KK will be next. Yeah, that was a point that was brought up earlier. The shape can be an issue. I mean, KK might be a little bit easier to work with, but yeah, Blathers, he kind of deserves it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's put in
Yeah,
the work.
Blathers. I think Blathers is a great choice for the next one also. Like, I love that guy. He
Yeah.
gives us so much great information. He's perfect. I would enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Verity B says, although I'm expecting KK Slider, I think Daisy May would make an adorable plush if done right. She's made a great addition, especially since she's new, and I'm assuming there's not an official plush of her yet. That would be super cute. She's
Yeah.
so detailed. That would be tricky, but I think
Yeah.
it would be adorable.
I would want her immediately. That little nose, runny nose, adorable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So our next answer is from Margot J, and they said, like everyone said above, I'm assuming it will be KK, but I'd love to see CJ, Blathers, and Pascal with his cute scallop necklace and maybe holding a half-chewed scallop. Yeah, that would be really adorable. Pascal is a great choice. I don't think there are many plushies of him, so that would be very welcome for sure.
Yeah.
CJ, of course, he doesn't have any good next choice for
Yeah.
sure.
Nice. So, Movie Skink said, I would love to have it be a villager rather than a non-playable character. If they make a plush of any of the hugely popular villagers, say Raymond, Marina, or Marshall, and if it's a huge success, it might open the door to a whole line of villagers. It would still take years to get to my personal favorites like Kabuki, Samsung, or Nox, but at least some other characters would get some representation. Also, where is all the Sanrio merch to go along with these new villagers? Yeah, I mean, where are the accessories? Where is all the stuff that we can dress them up with? I mean, maybe Build-A-Bear is just getting started. I mean, they're gonna see that this was a huge success so far, so maybe they're gonna be planning even bigger next time.
Gosh, I
Yeah,
hope so.
there has to be more.
Yeah.
Jeslyn says, of course I would want Brewster as one of the next Build-A-Bear characters. My answer is not surprising. Oh, man. Brewster would be amazing. I already have a Brewster plush from the Nintendo store, and he's just the cutest. So I could grow my collection. That would be nice.
I saw one that at Target, not myself, but I saw people like post pictures of the plushes they had at Target, and I was just like, I need that Brewster one that they have. It's so good. And so when I went to check for Amiibo cards, I also checked their little plushies and did not find a single Animal Crossing one. So I'm glad I got the Build-A-Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it my turn? Is this the last one?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So the last answer is from Islander Logan, and they said, Keaton the Eagle. Why? Because he's my favorite villager and only has one piece of merch, that being his amiibo card. Is that a selfish answer? Yes. Do I care? Not at all. Let me have more merch of my baby, please. And I mean, honestly, that's the point of this question. Like, who's the character that you would need to get made? So, very good answer.
Yeah.
I really hope, like Pokemon, Animal Crossing eventually becomes that and lets people buy tons and tons of plushies of all their favorite characters. We need that to happen.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. Don't want the episode to end? Well, you can keep the conversation going by Nintendo switching over to our Discord. Just follow the link in the description, and you can talk with other people who love Animal Crossing as much as you do, including Sergio, Nina, and me. Want to support the show in a bigger way and get your voice heard during the show? Visit patreon.com/ChuiPlaysNintendo. You can support our show with just $1, get special access to a secret room on Discord, join in on the Haken Islander Corner, and even read a monthly newsletter covering all things Haken and Chuy Plays. We really appreciate the support and put your money towards some great things on the show. Tuned in on YouTube? The comments are a great place to let us know your answers to the Haken Islander Corner. Who do you want the next Build-A-Bear Animal Crossing character to be? If you dig what you hear, please KK slide over to that review section on your platform of choice. Let people know what they're missing out on. Haken is a wild production brought to you by Sergio, Chuy, Nina, and all of our patrons. We thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you all next time.